Gathered friends, listen again to our legend. Wait, you didn't want to hear that? Hey guys, I'm back again. Last time we stopped off talking about Manui's origins and how Makuta's originally was good but then became evil. And today we're going to be talking about the original Toamata. Now this is where the origins of the Toamata first start. They awaken in a strange chamber, each one of them strapped to a different slab of stone, and they each use their elemental powers to break free from the stone. And then a voice, we don't know who the voice is. I actually think it's Helrix, Toa Helrix, but that's just speculation. And tells them that they're all Toa and that they're guardians for Matanui, and that's their destiny to fight evil should Manui one day be struck down, and to revive him. And they form a team. Well, they don't really form a team because it's sort of an uneasy alliance at the time. They don't know each other. They have no previous memories of who they were. And they are trained by a jailer called Hydraxon. Yes, the one from the Toamari, although that's later on. But he's the one who trains them, and he sort of like, helps them to use their elemental abilities, helps them use their mask abilities, and at first, they don't work together, but through this, Hydrax actually teaches them to work together, and that goes on for some months, and eventually, though, uh, they realize that they now actually have to go to sleep, and they're sort of like a last resort. Should Manui go to sleep, which is what happens, it's their duty to awaken him. This actually takes place during, well, still in Cardanui, and they actually go to sleep in something that's called the Codex, and I'll go into that later because of the story. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but everything I'm going to be telling you, this whole story, full of spoilers, so yeah, you might not want to hang on for the ride. Now for the Paraca, or more specifically, the origins of the Paraca, how they banded and stuff. Although right now it's going to start with the two Paraca known as Hakan and Thok. Now, Hakan and Thok, they were thieves back in those days, and Hakan had learned from a Matoran informant that there was something of value to be taken from the Toa, and so they were going to go there and steal this object, which they really had no idea what it was, but it was supposed to be valuable, so why not? And they went in there, and Hakan kind of double-crossed Thok, and he was going to run off with the item when he was stopped by a mysterious figure. That mysterious figure worked for the Dark Hunters, who were sort of like beings who had the power of the Toa, but they were sort of not the good guys. Long story short, Hakan and Thok were brought to the Brotherhood, and they were both recruited, along with the other four Paraca, and, you know, they worked for them, they carried out missions for them, although eventually Zaktan, who would be known as the leader of the Paraca later on, he was going to lead them all to start a rebellion against the leader of the Dark Hunters, known as the Shadowed One, and they tried to carry out. Oh, minus Avac, because they didn't feel that Avac could be trusted with this mission. And so they were going to go up against him. They failed. And not only that, but Zaktan was blasted by an energy beam from the Shadowed One, and instead of actually being destroyed, it turns his body into billions of prototypes, which is how he became what he is now. The Dark Hunters even tried to establish a base on Metru Nui multiple times. through either trying to bribe the Turaga Duma, or trying through threats like unleashing the Kanohi Dragon and stuff like that. And that even escalated to a war on Metru Nui and almost destroyed the island completely until Toa Likan came up with a plan, bringing a whole army of different Toa from other islands and stuff. And that war quickly subsided. And through that, we also learned that the item that was stolen that was stolen by Hakan years ago was Makoki Stone, and it had the names, locations, and other events of the Brotherhood of Makuta written down on it. And the Toa, I guess, were going to use that should the Brotherhood of Makuta try to rise up against Matanui or try to defeat the Toa. I guess that's why they had it, but it never was confirmed as to why they did have that. One last thing to mention from this also was that Nikki, who was a Toa himself, betrayed the Toa, and from that, Lee Khan found out that he was a traitor, and as part of negotiations between the Toa and the Dark Hunters, Nikki would be banished and sent to join the Dark Hunters, and from there, he was mutated into a monster as seen through the Bionicle set and the movie. Toa Khan and some of the other Toa decided that it's time that Metru Nui had some new guardians to defend it, and so Toa Khan set out to establish who the new Toa were. It was destined to be Akmu, Nuri, Vizsla, Tahuti, Eri, and Orcam be the new Toa. But Makuta caught wind of this and was thinking, we can't have that. So instead, he manipulated Lee Khan, and instead, the 6 Toa we got were Vakama, Nokama, Matau, Nuju, Winua, and Unua. This led to so many adventures that they've had through fighting the Morbazak, to fighting shapeshifters, through so many different events that have transpired, and it ultimately led to a final confrontation with the Makuta, who was revealed to actually be Turaga Duma, or the Turaga Duma they thought they knew, and, he revealed that he had captured Turaga Duma some time ago, and ultimately his plan was laid into effect, and he brought Matanui to sleep. Please don't tell me I just said Metru Nui. I meant Matanui. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the deal. And so, I'll see you next time, and we'll talk about the consequences of Matanui going to sleep. I am iamxeracon, signing off.